Hello, beautiful people. Yes, all you beautiful people, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. My name is oHSoIcoNic, but if I could, I'd be just like you. And today I want to have a quick little chat. And if you're watching this the day this video is published, or the next day, you more than likely will have an idea of why I'm not as cheery and ostentatious, if you will, as I am in my other videos. And that's because today I want to have a quick chat about community. And the reason why I chose community is because I believe it will put me in the position to articulate best how I'm feeling without going off, without getting myself riled up, without causing my own heart rate to increase during this discussion. But typically when I start off, I break down the true definitions of the word and then go into how it's relevant to the chat. But I actually want to be very specific, so I wrote it down this time. And the word community has two similar definitions. The first, a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. That makes sense. School communities, work communities, neighborhoods, etc. These are people that either live near you, or they're in the same class as you, or have the same job as you, and therefore share similar interests and or characteristics. The second definition, however, is more in line with what's going on right now and with what the community chat will be about. A feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. Common attitudes, interests, and goals. Those three things help make up and define community. So I actually want to ask you a question. What communities do you belong to? Subsequently, I'd like to ask you, what do those communities stand for? What do they do? How do they speak? How do they treat people? Because if the answer is anything like what I'm sure we've all been watching today, then you should really question the community that you belong to. Because I do believe that some forms of community may or may not be a choice, right? If you're a kid where you live, for example, if you have to go to a certain school district, or you can choose between a certain amount of whatever, sure. But I maintain that most, if not all, communities that one can be a part of is most certainly a choice, particularly if you're an adult. And what that means is that the people that choose to ignore the blatant terrorism, unlawful behavior, racism, bigotry that is taking place. And I'm not talking about today, but today, what community do you belong to? Because what I saw was a community of backhandedness. I have never seen so many people get receipts pulled on them and get ratioed on Twitter like I've seen today. There was a white woman that had the nerve to quote Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as a way of justifying some of the shit that happened today. That very same woman tweeted just months ago something completely different and opposite. One of the things I talked about earlier on my Facebook page was that the last time this happened, my parents were children. And here I am, an adult, having just learned about civil rights. Not literally, but you get what I mean. 40, 45, 50 years after the movement. Why am I seeing it happen right before my very eyes, all over again? It is beyond frustrating. I mean, now, in an effort to understand that not all people are built the same, there are those who have indeed let their true colors come to light in a semi-decent and positive way. And in this, I'm referring specifically to Senator Mitch McConnell and other House and Senate Republicans who acknowledge that some of this shit just ain't right. It's literally unconstitutional. It's literally un-American. And don't even let me get started on what today would have been like had that been Black Lives Matter out there. Had that been Muslim people out there. Don't even get me started. At the time of this recording, there's been 13 arrests made. 13. Trump had a rally talking about how he was dispatching thousands of heavily armed military personnel and police and National Guard to restore order. This was back in June last year. They broke down the walls to the Capitol. Literally broke down the walls to the Capitol. They were scaling the walls, breaking the windows. And then how were they treated? Not like terrorists. Not like the thugs that they've ridiculed so many left for being. I wasn't gonna do this. I wasn't going to do this. But I wanted to have this not as quick chat to really hone in on what it means to be a part of a community. Because communities can be very powerful. But power isn't always positive. Trump supporters, that's a community. Proud Boys, that's a community. Terrorists, that's a community. And it's also not fair for people to switch the community's definitions in their favor. I.e., it is not okay to call us thugs while some of your people are doing the same exact shit that we were doing. And worse. Protesting. The reason why I say the same thing is because they're calling it protesting. Y'all don't have guns drawn on you. Not like the way we did. Marching through the door. They had to evacuate. Is it clicking? Do you get me yet? No, you don't. Because we're here. If people understood, I wouldn't have anything to be talking about. I'd be playing, you'd be watching a Dragon Ball video. Or hear me tell some stupid story about some passenger. This ain't that. What community do you belong to? What interests do you share? What common goals do you want to achieve? I'd apologize for the rant, but I'm not sorry. I'm not. They're not. Remember that. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Either side, I'll entertain whatever you may be feeling, for the most part. Hit the video with a like, all that other YouTube stuff that I really don't feel like saying. Thank you for letting me rant. My name is oHSoIcoNic. But at the end of the day, should you choose to be, you too can be an icon. I'll see you in the next video.